Good morning everybody and welcome to my channel. My name's Elaine and I'm Ellie Welly Stitcher, both here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. And hello, welcome back to those of you that have watched me before, and hello to my new subscribers, because I have had quite a few since I did my mid-year whip parade. So hello, welcome. Thanks for sticking around, because I have been on the missing list for a little while, about 6 weeks I think, since I last filmed. I did say on my last video that I wouldn't be back until the end of August, because I've just got quite a lot going on really. August is quite a busy month for me, for visitors, and yeah, just in general it's been a bit busy around here. So round here is Anglesey in North Wales, for those of you that haven't watched me before, or I haven't mentioned it to you before. So what have I got for you today? I'm so glad to be back, you know. I'm really glad to be back, to be able to come and talk to you about what I've been up to over the last 6 weeks. The weather has taken a turn for the worse. I'm sorry, but I am English and I do need to talk about the weather. You know, it's just inbuilt in the genes. So yeah, it's taken a bit of a turn for the worse. We have had some fantastic weather over the last month or so. Much better summer than we had last year. Lots of opportunities to go down the beach and go swimming and all that kind of thing. But this last week has, since Bank Holiday Monday actually, it's cooled down considerably, and today is quite windy, which has brought a bit of a chill to the air, and the trees are starting to drop their leaves, and it definitely feels like we're nearly into autumn for sure. Excuse me, got a bit of a frog in my throat. Hopefully that's the only frog that I'll be having around here. Right, what have I got for you today? Let's get into it, shall we? I have got 3 finishes since I last saw you. I know. Get me. Finishing has been a thing this year. They are only small ones, but you know, a finish is a finish, so I can take that. I'll take that. I have got a fair few whips that I've worked on. Not done absolutely amazing progress on any of them particularly, but you know, progress is progress. Sometimes, because I have been really busy this month, I've only stitched a bit here and there basically, as and when I've kind of added the odd hour to spare. So I've got those. Oh, I've left one on top of my dresser, bear with me. So got that, and then I've got haul for you. I have been and done a bit of shopping, of course I have, since I last saw you. I've got what else have I got? I've got a book review. I have read a couple of books since I last saw you, and I was particularly keen to come and talk to you about those as well. And I've got a bit of a life update, not too much, because I'm sure you don't want to hear all about my holidays and my visitors and all that kind of thing, but I have got, yeah, just a bit of an update for you. So let's start, as we usually do, with my book a day. So I last filmed on the 18th of July, and I ended up in July, I had 1, 2, 3, I had 3 days, no, 4 days where I didn't do any stitching, for whatever reason, you know, I can't remember now. So that's where we ended up with for July. And so I had one finish actually at the end of July, and then here we are nearly at the end of August. Can you believe? I mean, seriously, where's that time gone? Where has the time gone? Here we are with August, so nearly at the end of the month. So I have had 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 days this month where I hadn't stitched either. So actually that's not too bad considering I've had visitors and things going on. So with August, I've had two new starts this month, and I've put in a bit of a few seasidey theme type things. I put in some blackberries and some raspberries because I've had all the blackberries, the bushes down the lanes are all full of blackberries at the moment. I haven't been blackberrying yet, but I really need to crack on with it. And raspberries, I've had loads of raspberries in my garden this month, and I've put in a chicken because there's an update around chickens for you. And I thought I'd put in some honey as well, but I haven't. So I have an update around the bees as well to talk about. So yeah, overall not too bad a month, I suppose, but yeah, I have been a bit slow on the stitchy front, a bit slow. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's start with my finishes. So if you've watched me before, you will know that I have been stitching with my friend Stitchy Sally. Together we've been stitching the sheep calendar by Lotus Lake Stitching. I will put a picture in here of what that looks like when it's finished. And I finished one of these in July, not long after I last filmed actually, and then I finished the next one this month. So here's where I am with mine. So there's July, so I finished that not long after I last filmed, and then I have finished August this month. So I've been stitching one of these a month, and my friend Sally, who I'm stitching this with, I think the hashtag for this is Sheep Stitch 2025. She's almost completed them now. I think she's just started February, so she started in a different place to me. I've gone and followed it along the whole year because, like I say, I've been doing one a month, but Sally hasn't done that. She's kind of cracks on with hers, so she's going to finish hers this month or the beginning of next month, whereas I will not finish mine until December because I'm only doing one a month. I'm stitching this on 36 count vintage country mocha using all of the called for colours. There aren't many colours in this, and they apply for all of the charts, all of the months, and they're DMC, so you know, this is quite an economical chart if you're interested in doing it. Mine's stitched 1/2, so there we go. Oh, except the white, I haven't used DMC white. I've used sulky white because I prefer it. It does make it a little bit thicker for the sheep, but actually I like that because it gives them a little bit more texture, I think. So yeah, so there we go. That's where I am with my sheep stitch, and then obviously we'll be on to doing September's in a minute. And then I think my favourite of the charts, I really love the October one because I do love Halloween stitching anyway, and I cannot wait to get all my Halloween stitching out in a minute. So yeah, I do love that October one. I really like the November one as well, and the Christmas one, the December one, is really super cute too. So I'm super looking forward to stitching those. So that's my little finishes. Where shall I put them on the chair behind me? Okay, and then the other finish I had, so I did this as a stitch along with my friend Sally at Flossie Sews and Grows, and I know she's finished hers because I just saw it on her last video. Sorry I haven't commented on your video yet, I don't think, Sally, or have I? If I haven't, I need to go back and do it, but I've been a bit bad for commenting on any videos that I've watched this last month. I need to, excuse me, go back and do that. Anyway, the chart that I'm referring to that I finished is called Twilight Moon by Tiny Modernist. And here's mine finished. Ta-da! Oh, I loved stitching this. I loved it. It was a pretty quick stitch. And look at the floss. Look at these colours. They're super, super lovely. And they are the Night Garden palette by Threadworks, which I think came out at Nashville this year. And a group of designers all designed a chart to use for that particular palette of colours. And I chose this one by Tiny Modernist. It's the first time I've stitched a Tiny Modernist chart, and I really super liked this. And I've just bought a frame for this to go in, actually, because this is going to go in my lounge. Anyone who's followed me for a while, I finished a long dog sampler earlier this year, right at the beginning of the year actually, and it's stitched on a blue fabric, not the same as this one. This is Vintage Blue, I think it's called, by Zweigart. This is a 32 count, this blue fabric and this pretty little chart will look great in my lounge along with that long dog. So that's where it's going to live once it's framed, but of course I will show you it once I framed it as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed stitching this. We'll have to find something else to stitch on now, Sally, but I really enjoyed that. So yeah, all finished, and I need to have a bit of a finishing day and catch up with a few things that need finishing actually. Okay, so on to my whips. For anybody that doesn't know, whip is a work in progress, so something that I am currently working on that I haven't yet completed, and believe me, I have a few of those. Okay, so this month and last month actually, I've only worked on one full coverage piece, and that hasn't been an awful lot either. And I don't know what it is about not stitching full coverage in the summer months, but I seem to go right off it, but I'm right back on it now, if you see what I mean. So I've only started stitching full coverage again this last week, and I'm proper back into it. So the project that I'm referring to is charted by Pain Free Crafts, and the artwork is by Chris Dunn, and it is Feast. Here's what I put a picture in of what it looks like when it's finished. And here's where I am with it now. So you probably can't see a lot of what I've done. I've done about 400 stitches is all since I last saw you. I put in a bit up here. This is going to be a little bit of a boring bit, this bit. This is a really dark bit of backdrop going on up here. And I have mainly filled in the ninja stitches on this hand here. And there was a lot of ninja stitches on that piece. And I have dotted a bit about over here. So there really isn't a significant chunk of progress that you can see on this at the moment. But I have progressed it a little bit by 400 stitches in actual fact. This is stitched on 28 count Easy Guide by Zweigart, and I am stitching this one 1/1 full cross using Old Cord 4 DMC. And I love this. This is my focus full coverage piece for this year. I've got a couple of others on the go, neither of which I've touched recently. Yeah. I just want to focus on this one as far as full coverage goes, and then I will move on back to another one. Doesn't mean I won't have the other ones out. I will, but generally speaking, I really want to try and make some good progress on that one this coming month, really. So yeah, it is looking good. I love, like, the definition on this one is super good. Yeah, really like it. So I'm really glad to get back to stitching full coverage again as well. So that's where we are with Feast. Okay, I'm going to put that down there. Right, these are not in any particular order in which I have stitched them. I'm going to show you this one next. I need the chart for it. Purely because I've got this one in a nerd hoop at the minute, and I was stitching on it last night, and I am going to stitch on it today. So this one is part of the Animal Crackers series by Stacey Nash, and the one that I am stitching is Monroe. Sorry, that's a bit glary, isn't it? There he is. I cannot tell you how much I am enjoying stitching this chart. I started this along with a group of friends from the Cheshire Stitchers. So I started it with Sally at Flossie Sews and Grows. I started it with Lindsay, who's the Cheshire Stitcher and also has a floss tube. Our friend Sue, who is Sue, oh, I can't think, my mind's gone blank. Sue's on Instagram, but she hasn't got a floss tube yet. I think she should do one, but she hasn't got one yet. And my friend Claire also has joined in now as well. And we're calling our Sal the Cheshire Crackers. And between us, I believe that we've got quite a few of the charts. And so as we finish one, we will share the charts with each other. So we all get an opportunity to stitch different ones. And I have got quite a few of them now anyway, part of which is in plans. In fact, I might as well show you that now. So, I don't know why I've got that out. So here I am with Monroe. So I've made quite good progress on his little waistcoat there, see that? So I am more than halfway down his waistcoat actually. I've got his whiskers left to backstitch on the top bit here, but I mean that's a 5-minute job. I'm stitching him on 36 count vintage country mocha using all of the called for over dyed threads, and I think they're all gentle art threads. In fact, I've got them here. Yeah, so they're all gentle arts. There's not many of them, and I super am enjoying stitching him. I really want to get him finished because I'm desperate to move on and do another one. And also Claire has finished her one, which I might as well show you because she's given me the chart for this already. So Claire was stitching Scarlet, which is the doggy, and she's passed the chart to me now because she's finished it. So thank you for that chart, Claire. And then the next one that I really want to start, I went to the last Cheshire Stitchers meetup, which was, when was it? The second weekend in August. So Claire and I went to that and met up with my friend Catherine, Cat V Stitches on Flosstube, although Catherine hasn't done a video for a while. And I also met up with Lindsay and the other ladies there. And Sue had finished this one, Clovis. And it's just gorgeous. When you see it like finished, it's just lovely. And so Clovis is going to be my next planned start, and Claire wants to stitch this one next as well. I've got my threads all ready to go, and it's going to go in this project bag, which is one that Sally at Flossie Sews and Grows made for me in this gorgeous fabric. She made one for herself and one for me, and so in honour of that, I'm using it for my Animal Crackers stitches. So yeah, so that is my that is Monroe. And that's where I am with him at the moment. I'm just going to put him in there. So yeah, that's one thing I did this month. I went to Cheshire Stitchers, and I hadn't been for quite a while because my husband tends to work a lot of Saturdays, and so it's not always easy to go because I can't leave Bear in particular. My older dog doesn't mind being left on her own, but Bear, you know, he's too young, and I couldn't leave him at home alone for that amount of time. So that's where we are with that one. Right. Next project is one that I had not worked on for a pretty long time, actually. I think, I'm not even sure if I worked on it last year, maybe a little bit. But anyway, I have brought it out to work on this year because I had a real hankering to stitch on it. So the one I'm referring to, I'll just want to check if I have a better, oh, I have got a needle on it, okay. So the one that I've done a bit of work on since I last saw you is this one. So this is by Queenstown Samplers, and it is Maria Juanuaria. This is a Portuguese sampler. It is huge. This is a photograph of the sampler. This is the Wonky Donkey salve that I am doing with my friend Crafting Kirsty, who has a floss tube, and in fact Kirsty showed this on her last video. And Stitchy Rach, haven't had a video from you lately, Rachel. Hopefully you'll be back once the kids are back at school. So we started this a couple of years ago now. I kind of went off it for a little while, and then in my whip parade, one of my viewers said, oh, I can't wait for you to get that Wonky Donkey sampler out again. And I thought, do you know what? I actually really want to stitch on that. So thank you very much for making that comment on my video, because you super encouraged me to get this one out. So when I showed you this at my, just to put it in perspective, here I am with it now. So when I showed you this in my mid-year whip parade, I hadn't put this house in. I'd done this wheel, or the mill, or whatever it is. I'd done the wheel of the mill, but I hadn't put this in. And it doesn't look much, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of stitching in that. A lot of stitching. And I really enjoyed stitching this. And over here, this bit over here, is the beginning of the man's arm, the man who stands. Let me show you what it looks like again, just so you get a better look at where I am with it. So I've just put this bit in. I mean, look at how much I've done compared to the size of this. So I've just put this bit in, and I've done that wheel. I've got this little dog to put in still. And then I'm going to be on to putting the man in, and then we can put in a Wonky Donkey. So that's actually quite exciting. Part of, and I proper like got into stitching this again once I got it out. I think the reason I was getting a bit fed up with it before was I was on this border, and I'm not a big lover of borders anyway, and I just got really bored with it. This is stitched on Antique White by Zweigart, and this is 40 count. And I am stitching it using the DMC conversion. This is stitched in MPIs, and I'm stitching it in the DMC conversion with the exception of one of the MPIs. I think there's a green in this, which if you stitch it in DMC, there's no differential between the greens. I think it uses the same green for both, so I chose to swap it out for the MPIs instead. So yeah, that's where we are so far with, I'm super pleased that I got this out and did a little bit on this. I think this is a project for me to really put some focus into when I get around to retiring, which isn't quite yet. and then I can hopefully really crack on with it, because, you know, like I say, it's a massive sampler, but it is a pretty fun sampler as well. So I'm really pleased that I picked it up again. So yeah, that's Maria Juanaria, and hopefully you will see her come out again soon, because once I started stitching on her, oops, I didn't want to stop. Sorry if the zips bother you, I forgot to not close that one. Right, next. Well, I mean, these aren't in any particular order, guys, so this could be next or it might not be, but I have stitched on this a few times actually this month. So this was a new start in August, and I've just got to show you this bag. Oh, look at this bag. So this was a bag from Pauline at Sobe Bags. Look, isn't it awesome? I love it. Love it. Love a Halloween bag. Anyway, I had a new start on the 1st of August with a group of my friends, and this has become a bit of an annual event for us. So every year we stitch a fancy blanket, and we are on the 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the 5th one that we've done. So this was a stitch along that I started, or not just me, but a group of us started. Was it in 2022, I think, or 2021? It might be 2021 actually, which is when I first started Flosstube. So there was myself, Crafting Kirsty, Alison the Stitching Whippet, Ali Stitcher. So Stitching Whippet and Ali Stitcher, both Instagrammers rather than Flosstubers. And then we then got joined last year by Laurel. Laurel, are you Lollipop Stitches, Laurel? Anyway, Laurel joined us as well, and so did her friend Laurie. And then last year we were joined by Sally at Flossie Sews and Grows as well. So there's a whole little bunch of us now that on the 1st of August each year we stitch a fancy blanket chart by Pineberry Lane. Everybody takes a turn to pick. I think this year was Ali Stitcher's turn to pick, but I think she was heavily influenced by some of the other ladies as to which chart we were going to do. So the one that was chosen is this one. So this is Fancy Blankets, A Humble Abode. This is a great chart. Really, really, really nice. So this, like I say, is by Pineberry Lane. Pineberry Lane has got a whole load of fancy blanket charts. This is actually one of the newer ones. This came out in 2024. And I'm just looking at what my fabric's called. Oh, that's Pioneer Trails. And this is where I am with it so far. It might help if I put it out the right way, mightn't it? Now, it may not look a lot, this, guys, but I'm telling you, that house is some serious stitching. It super is. It's very stitch heavy. I am stitching this on 36 count Mountain Air in the colourway Pioneer Trails, and it's the first time I've stitched on Mountain Air. It's quite nice actually. I've had this fabric in stash for a long time and not known what to do with it, so I quite like it for this. It's quite mottled, but I quite like it. I am stitching this chart in all the called for colours, which I do believe are DMC, and they are. And there is a mistake in this, and I've had to fudge it because I wasn't going to frog it because I'd already done too much at that point. So I did a stitch too wide on the house here, and so I've had to make some adjustments for that fact. Otherwise it would have thrown everything else out. But when I get to stitching on the roof, I will be able to correct it again, and so it should bring it back into line. but yeah, I did make a mistake. So I think one of these windows, I think that middle window is 1 stitch too big, but I don't care. I don't care. I wasn't gonna flog it out because I had done too much at that point. And there we are with it. A couple of the ladies have already finished. Alison Stitching Whippet's finished it already. I think Ali Stitch has finished it. I think, had Laurel finished it? I'm not sure if Laurel had finished it, but anyway, I haven't. Crafting Kirsty had done more than me but hadn't finished. I think Sally at Flossie Sews and Grows had done slightly more than me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I haven't fully finished. I haven't FFO'd, which stands for fully finished objects. I haven't FFO'd last year's one yet. I finished it, but I haven't FFO'd it. It is in my to be done list. Right, that's where we are with the latest fancy blacket. Next, so haven't done an awful lot on this one, but I have stitched on it, so I thought I would show it to you. So I've only had this one out one afternoon, and it was probably for about an hour is all. I was stitching on it out in the garden, and I was chatting to Claire at the time, and this is the chart I'm referring to. So this is by the Drawn Thread, and it is the kitchen garden. There's what it looks like when it's finished. It's really lovely, this, really lovely, and it's very nice to stitch on. Here I am with it in a minute. So I finished all of the greenery on this big pepper bush, and I put in the start of the little blossoms that are on it. That's as far as I've got with it. I've started back stitching these onions down here as well. I've got another, I think there's another bee to put in, and yes, I've done the blossoms. I've got another bee to put in. I think I finished the blossoms, and then backstitch the rest of the tops of the onions, putting the wording down here. So I've still got to put in peppers and onions on this bit, and then I can shunt over to the other side. I know you can't see it all because I've got it in a queues now. I have done the house. I've got to go the other side and start. I'll show you what I mean. So I've done all of that bit almost. So I've got to go back and do that bit, and then it'll be finished. I say, and then it'll be finished like it's a 5-minute job. It isn't a 5-minute job. This is stitched on the called for, which is 32 count summer khaki, and I am stitching it using all the called for colours, and they are a mix of MPIs and Dinky Dye silks. I bought this as a kit from Chris at the Nimble Thimble. It is the most economical way to do a drawn thread, because she provides you with the called for fabric and all the called for colours in the quantity that is required in order to complete the chart. In actual fact, she's quite generous with how much she gives you, so you can afford to make the odd whoopsie if you happen to do that. So that is my kitchen garden. Okay, moving on. Sorry, if I don't put things back as I go, then I'm just going to have a big mess everywhere, so probably best I do it as we go along. Okay, right, this one I was out in the garden stitching a little bit on this one. Haven't done masses on this one either. In fact, I've still got a working thread on the go. So this one is Floral Etchings by Heart in Hand. There's what it looks like when it's done. Cute, huh? I've already completed Floral Etchings 2, and that's hanging up in my house. So this is the second one that I'm doing. I have also got this one in a Q-snap at the minute. So I have completed the first flower here, and I've started on the second flower. Basically, that's what I've done. This fabric is a 36 count from Coffee Craft Fabrics, and she doesn't name her fabric, so it hasn't got a name, but it's gorgeous, this fabric. I stitched the first one on the same fabric so they match. Really like it. And I wasn't going to, I've got the Christmas Etchings one as well to stitch, which I will probably swap. I will swap the fabric out for that one, and in fact I might. I'm half tempted to stitch that one on an opalescent maybe, just to give it that bit of Christmas sparkle. And then there's the Bumblebee Etchings one as well, which I wasn't quite sure whether I was so keen on that one or whether I wanted to stitch it, but I have recently seen somebody show that on Instagram, and it's one of our ladies that comes to our Essex Needles retreats, and she'd completed it and it looks really lovely. So she's kind of swayed me, I think, to buying that one. Anyway, that's where I am with this one. So really like that, and it was a nice in the garden stitch, that one. So I set myself up on my garden table with my little Velky Patoki stand. I've got a portable light as well, and I spent a pleasant afternoon stitching out there. And then this was also a garden stitch. No, it wasn't. This one was. This was a garden stitch as well, because this one is super easy to see when I'm in the garden. And I have done a bit on this actually, surprisingly. I don't stitch on this one very often. Embarrassingly, I started this a good couple of years ago now, if not 3, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not in any hurry to complete it. This is a Mill Hill kit. This is Honeybee. That is what it looks like when it's finished. And this one tends to come out for me when I want to stitch something. I can hold it in my hand, and I don't need any magnification, so it makes it a good garden project. Here's where I am with it now, and I have done a bit on this. It may not look it, but I've started putting in all this flower over here. I've done a bit more on the flower over here. I've done a bit more honeycombing down here. I've done a bit round here as well. I've been a bit all over the place with it, but I have done a bit on it, so I'm quite pleased with how that's coming along. So that'll probably go away now until next summer, I would think. Right, next one that I've stitched on, and I've made a nice bit of progress on this one, I think. This is by Brenda Gervais, and it is Rejoice Evermore. Here's what it looks like when it's finished. You've probably seen this one lots of times. Lots and lots of people have stitched this. Let me show you what I've done since I last saw you. So I've put in this bird and the berries on the branch, etc. I haven't put in the leaves on the tree yet, but I have finished that bird. Yeah, look. So there's another bird on top of that, and then I can get onto the house. Really pleased with what I've done on this one. This is stitched on 36 count platinum by Zweigart, and I am stitching it using all the called for, mostly over dyed threads. And I love the colour of that bird. I just love it. Look at him. Magnificent. So yeah, Frog came to visit a couple of times on that bird, and I had to keep unpicking it and doing it again. I did a bit more on the sawtooth. There's a sawtooth border under here. I finished the top one. There's one under here as well, and I did a little bit more on that as well. So that's where we are with Rejoice Evermore. I want to finish that this year. I do. I don't know if I'll get it done now because my focus has definitely swapped over to wanting to stitch. Well, I've got an itch to stitch a couple of things actually, which I'll talk about in a minute. Right, one of this is something I definitely want to finish this year, and thanks to watching Sherry at Just So Sherry, I really liked her idea. She's stitching one as well at the moment, not this one. I think it's autumn that she's stitching, and I've already finished that. I can't wait to put that up next week, I think. Right, the project I'm referring to is this one. This is by the Cross-Eyed Cricket Cricket Collection Winter. Lots of people have stitched this. I'm sure you've seen this a million times. I've already completed summer, which is up in my house at the moment, and autumn. This is the next one I want to finish. So I completed, since I last saw you, I finished the end since I last saw you. I had a snowflake left to finish there, and I have finished the eye. So really pleased with that. I'm going to do the W next. My plan is, after watching Sherry mentioned that she's trying to do a letter a month, and I thought that was a really good idea, Sherry, because it's really broken down this chart a little bit into manageable chunks. It's not a massive chart anyway, but it's just made it more manageable. And I thought I can do that, so I did the I in August. Next month I'm going to do the W, and then that will just leave me the E and the R to do, which will be October, November, ready to go up in December at the start of winter. Ta-da! Hopefully that's the plan anyway. I'm stitching this on a 28 count linen by Sparkleys called Charcoal Slate, and I am stitching this using almost all the called for DMC, with the exception of that white, which I did swap out for Sulky. I haven't swapped all the white out for Sulky on this one. I have for the snowflakes and I have for the snowman, but there are some little white what are supposed to be lights on that tree, and I have used the call for on that, which is 3865 winter white, because I actually don't mind 3865 as it happens. It's Blanc and B5200 that I'm not a big fan of. So that's where we are with winter. So I really seriously hope that I stay on track with that one, do what I say I'm going to do, and get it finished in time to go on my wall, and then I'll only have spring left to do. So there we go with that one. It's a bit snug, that one in there. Right, okay, that's that one. Right, final project that I've stitched on is this one. So this is, and this shows you as well, by the way, that I'm just not always a seasonal stitcher. I'm really not. Where's the chart? Oh, there you twit. Right, okay. I had a hankering to stitch on this one, and even though it's not winter at the minute, I don't care. I just wanted to stitch on it, so I did. this is Plum Street Samplers Winter Moon. Look at that. Oh, it started raining, and we really need the rain. My lawn is looking really brown in places at the minute. I love this. It's a big chart, this one. It doesn't look it on there, but I'm telling you that the house on this is really big, and I love stitching a house, so it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Here I am with it since you last saw it. I've done a bit more on the grouting. I've put in 3 windows now, started stitching in some of the bricks, and that is the start of the roof as well. Love stitching this. Long way to go on this one, but I have really enjoyed stitching that bit. This is stitched on 36 count Legacy by Picture This Plus, which is one of my absolute favourite linens, and that's where we are with it. And I am stitching this using all the core 4. There are some overdyes on this, but there's also DMC as well. Ooh, it's proper rain. It's supposed to rain all afternoon as well. There we go, which is good news because that means I can stitch this afternoon. Right, that's it. That is everything I have stitched since I last saw you. So, you know, not too bad, not masses of progress, because it literally has been for some of those projects an hour here and there. So yeah, not masses. Okay, let's move on to haul. So I have some haul, and I also have a giveaway for you as well. So in my last video I was very thankful to you guys because I had just reached 3,000 subscribers, which is just amazing. Actually, just amazing. But I didn't do a giveaway on my last video because it literally was just over 3,000 subscribers, and I thought, you know, chances are some of them will have gone again by next time, and I'll be back to 2,900 and something. Anyway, I did manage to keep over 3,000 subscribers. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for your patience over the last 6 weeks while I haven't been filming. But I did decide that I would do a giveaway because of that. So I'm just going to do my haul first, and then or shall I do the giveaway first? Because some people don't like shopping, do they? I'll tell you what, we'll do the giveaway first. So those of you that are only interested in seeing my stitching update, you can toodle off and do whatever else you need to do with your day, whereas those of you who want to stay and see what I've been buying and listen to what I've been reading and all that kind of stuff, you can hang around with me still and do that. Okay, so I have got 4 charts that I picked out of my stash that I've either stitched or I'm not going to stitch, and I have got 1 PDF as well. So I'm not, you know, not going to restrict where I send anything, so quite happy to post it anywhere in the world. So please feel free, if you like something that I'm showing you, please feel free to, you know, to join in and have a go at winning something in my giveaway. As with all giveaways, you know the drill by now, I'm sure. Please be over 18 or have the permission of your parent, because I need your either email address for a PDF or your postal address to send you a chart, basically. Please don't use any words in your comments like giveaway or raffle or anything like that, because it does attract the trolls, and I want my giveaways to go to my subscribers. So please be a subscriber to my channel if you would like to enter the giveaway. Right, okay, I think that covers everything. I will do a word for each of them that you need to use if you are interested in having your name in the hat for that particular chart. I will do the result of my giveaway on my next video. Okay, let's start with the PDF that I'll give away. So I am happy to buy a PDF chart from Pain Free Crafts to do as a random act of kindness to somebody. So it needs to be one of their standard PDF charts, and I will, if you're the winner of that, the choice is yours as to which one. And I love to find out what people's choices are. I have done in the past, I have done giveaways for either Pain Free Crafts or Heaven and Earth Designs. We'll do Pain Free Crafts because I am stitching more of her full coverage at the moment than anybody else is. So yes, so to enter to win a full coverage chart of your choice, please use the word feast. Okay, so I'm stitching feast at the moment. It's my focus full coverage project for this year. If you would like to be able to, if you would like to win a chart from Pain Free Crafts, please enter the word feast. You don't have to come up with a quirky comment, but if you do, all the better, because I love reading comments. I have got myself into the discipline of making sure I reply to everybody. So if you would like to enter that, please use the word feast. Right, and then I do have some physical paper charts as well. So the first one I'm giving away is this one. So I stitched this a couple of years ago now. Well, more than a couple of years ago, actually. It's one of the first charts that I ever really stitched, and this chart is from 2021. So this chart is from Sweet Wings Studio, and it is called Sweater Weather. And I really enjoyed stitching this. There he is. I finished mine in a flat fold, and he's really cute. In fact, do you want me to get it? Shall I show you? Hang on, because it is just over here on my dresser. So there's what it looks like, or can look like, when it's finished. So I stitched it using all of the called for colours, and like so I finished mine in a little flat fold. So it's a really cute chart, this one. If you, oops, put it back over there. So if you would like to enter to win this chart, please use the word snowman. That's an easy one then, isn't it? Use the word snowman. Okay. Right, next one that I'm giving away is a really popular chart, really common one. I stitched this a long time ago. I can't show you this one because it's actually upstairs in my house. But if you are interested in this one, this is by Blackbird Designs. It's Strawberry Fields Forever. I loved stitching this. It is a bit fiddly in places. There's lots of little doodads that are randomly dotted around. But it is a nice chart to stitch. If you would like to be in with a chance of winning this one, use the word strawberry. Okay, so strawberry for that one, snowman for sweater weather, and feast for the PDF full coverage. Right, next one, I've got two samplers now to give away. So this one I haven't stitched the full sampler, but I really don't think I'm going to now. I have stitched the drum though. This is Clara Hanson by Hello from Liz Matthews. which is this one. I've stitched that because I really wanted to stitch the swans, so I have stitched that. I don't think I'm ever going to stitch it again, as in stitching the chart, so I'm happy to give this one away. If you would like to win this one, please use the word swan. Use the word swan for that one. And then finally, I have not stitched this one, but I really don't think I'm going to either. So this is a chart by the Scarlet House, and it is called, it's Sarah Jackson, which is this one. I do like it, I just really don't think I'm going to get around to stitching it, if I'm honest. I've got lots of other samplers that I really want to stitch, so I'm prepared to give this one away. And if you would like to be in with a chance of winning this one, please use the word house for Scarlet House. Use the word house. Okay. So, just a last reminder, if you want to be in with a chance of winning the full coverage PDF from Painful Crafts, please use the word feast. Snowman if you would like to win sweater weather. Strawberry if you would like to win Strawberry Fields Forever. Swan if you'd like to win Clara Hanson. And house if you would like to win Sarah Jackson. And like I say, I will draw those on my next video. Okay, one of my chickens sounds like she's laid an egg. I can hear her clucking away. Right, those of you that are leaving me now, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you on my next video, which will be, I'll either try and do one in 3 weeks time in September, or it'll be the beginning of October. Oh no, it won't. I need to do one in 3 weeks time because I've got 2 retreats on the bounce. One at the end of September, which is the retreat that I run with Teresa Little Stitcher, which is the Essex Needles retreat at Stansted Airport, and then the following weekend I am going to the Chatelaine retreat in Crewe, which will be my first Chatelaine retreat, and I haven't stitched on my Chatelaine for ages, so I'm really looking forward to going to that. Yeah, so because of that, so I've got the end of September is Essex Needles, and the first weekend in October is the Chatelaine retreat, so I need to try and film before then, otherwise you won't see me for another 6 weeks. Mind you might be happy with that, I don't know. So right, so I bought a chart, and I have a freebie chart that I picked up as well. So the one that I bought was another one of the Animal Crackers series. So it is Henny Penny. Look. Oh, of course I love the chicken, of course I do. But I do really like the sewing roll as well. Look at that. I'm sorry about the glare. Look at the sewing roll. But yeah, that chicken. Yeah, love that. So that will be one to be started at some point. And then I was watching Sarah from Penelope's Pocket. If you haven't watched Sarah before, Sarah does a great video. Now I really like a long video, and Sarah's tend to be quite long, which really suits me. And her videos are great. So she talks a lot about her stitching, but she talks about her bag making. Sarah makes lovely bags. I have got a couple of Sarah's project bags that I've bought from her in the past, but she makes bags. She talks a lot about antique fabrics and things like that. Sarah used to work at Liberty's in London, she's really knowledgeable about all that kind of thing. So, and knitting, she talks about her knitting as well, and that kind of thing. So if you haven't watched Sarah before, I would thoroughly recommend going to watch her. So she's really interesting. But she did show this this chart on one of her videos, and she themes her videos a little bit. And she did one which was based around strawberries for Wimbledon, and she happened to show this chart, and I kind of fell in love with it, really. So, and being a freebie was even better. So this is called Believe, and it is a sewing set which came out in 2020, and I loved all of it, but I particularly loved the pincushion. So this look, and Sarah's stitching this at the moment, and she showed it, and my head kind of whipped up rather quickly, so I was stitching at the time. And I thought, I want to stitch that. I really want to stitch that. So, don't know when I'm going to start it, but I am going to start it at some point. So this is by Heartsease Exemplar Works. You can get this on her website. And it's just, yeah, look. Just great, from the little ruler. Oh, it's just lovely. So yeah, I really want to stitch that. Probably some of the other bits as well. Look at this, look, just gorgeous. So I thought, you know, what a generous freebie that is as well. It's just lovely. So I will stitch that at some point. And then I went a bit mad on buying fabric. So I bought a bit of fabric this time. I bought a fat quarter of this one, and I bought this from Sue at Peakside Needleworks. So this is a 36 count. Not showing up the best actually on there. Let's try, see if I fold it in half. That's slightly better. So this is 36 count Shrekky's Tan by Needle Bling Designs, and I have bought this specifically for Clovis. So Clovis call for fabric is this. So I bought a fat quarter of it because my friend Claire wants to stitch Clovis as well. So half each should be plenty for stitching that. So that is why I purchased that. I bought a fat 8 of paper bark from Fox and Rabbit Designs. That's what it looks like. And the reason I bought it is because I'd used up the only bit of paper bark I'd got, and I saw it come back in stock, so I bought a piece. I also bought, all of these so far, by the way, are from Peakside Needleworks. I bought R&R Reproductions 36 count Old Town Blend, which is this one. Again, really nice piece of fabric. I also bought I'm showing you, hang on a minute. Hang on a moment. Okay, I bought another piece of Shrekky's Tan as well. I didn't even know I'd bought that. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Never mind. Okay, so I've got plenty of Shrekky's Tan for things. I also signed up to the West Green Loft Yarns Fabric of the Month Club. I'd seen loads of other Flosstubers who have signed up to this, and including my friend Teresa, Little Stitcher, and my friend Stitchy Sally. And I don't know whether I had a bit of FOMO. Yeah, I had a bit of FOMO. So I ended up signing up to the club. And since I saw you, I've had 2 fabrics from them. So this was the August fabric of the month. It's called Willoughby. I got a 36 count fat quarter for my fabric of the month club, and it's a gorgeous colour. This it's kind of a sort of a lilac-y grey sort of colour. Look, not showing up the best, that, but it is, and it feels lovely. Feels really nice. The feel of it actually reminds me quite a lot of Swan Bay fabrics. I really like Marie's fabrics as well, and these ones are very like that same sort of feel. Really nice to stitch on, I would imagine. Haven't stitched on it yet, but really nice. So that was the August fabric of the month. And then anybody who's in the fabric of the month club from West Green Loft Yarns, somebody's laid an egg. Maybe more than one, actually, unless one's in sympathy with the other. Anybody who hasn't received their September fabric of the month and doesn't want to see this one, then look away now. So this is the September one, which I literally received this morning. I love this one. Probably not showing up too well, this, but it's really nice. So as you can see, these are neutrally colours, which is right up my alley. This is, so like I say, I've got a 36 count fat quarter. This one she hasn't put a name on, actually, or she's not putting a name on my piece. But yeah, they come nicely packaged, and very nice. A very nice fabric, very nice. So that is those, and then I bought 2 project bags, because of course I bought 2 project bags. Like I said earlier, I went to Cheshire Stitchers, and Lindsay from who is the Cheshire Stitcher on Flosstube was there, and she was selling some of her project bags, and I've not bought one from Lindsay before, so you know, I like to support people. So I bought this one, which is stitching related, from Lindsay. Very nicely made bag. Got lots of scissors, cotton reels, and ladies doing a variety of sewing activities on the back, thimbles and things. So I really like that. And this is a bit of a good size project bag for slightly smaller projects as well, so it's not quite as big as some of my others, so I really liked that. And then I bought this one from Pauline at Sobe Bags. So Pauline messaged me and said, do you like this material, Elaine? Of course I liked it, of course I did, Pauline, because she knows exactly what my taste is in project bags. So I said, yes please, I would very much like to purchase that one. Look, I mean, just look, chickens and sheep and pigs and the whole farmyard shebang. Of course I like it. So yes, I couldn't resist it, and I had to buy that one as well. So that was from Pauline at Sobe Bags. Pauline does a sale of project bags usually once a month on a Friday on Instagram, and she has some great bags on there. She normally puts up a little bit of a preview a couple of days before of what might be coming in her bag sale, and then she drops them on a Friday at 6 in the evening UK time. So yeah, lovely bags from Pauline. I have got a lot of Pauline's bags. Right, that is all of my haul. So if you only wanted to know about stitching and stitchy stuff, then that's it, and hopefully I will see you in a few weeks' time. I have got a little idea in my mind to film a craft room video. So my craft crafting is not looking too bad at the minute. I've got a bit of sorting out with my DMC floss that I want to do, so I'm going to try and get that done, and then I will do a little film of my craft room for you. I was a bit inspired by Stuart's in Stitches. He did a little craft room video a little while ago, and it was really great, and I love looking at people's craft rooms. So if you have any interest in looking at mine, then please, you know, look out for that. Hopefully I'll film that in the next couple of weeks. Right, okay, so what else has been going on? Books. So I finished a couple of books since I last saw you. So as you know, I've been making my way through Sarah J Maas's Throne of Glass series, and this is the final series of hers that I'm reading. I've read Crescent City and I've read the Akatar books, so this was the final series of hers for me to read, and so far, you know, I think this is my favourite. I really do. Whether it's because I'm a lady of a certain age now and it really doesn't bother me if you're going to put all the raunchy bits in. I'm sure that some of her younger viewers, you know, think that's thrilling, but I'm not particularly bothered. I don't mind a bit of romance, but, you know, you don't have to be completely explicit for me. And in Throne of Glass is very much not, doesn't do that. So to me, it's kind of, oh, is she going to go on about this again? And like, let's move on to back to the story. And don't get me wrong, because I like Sarah J Maas's books, but I just feel I don't need all the sex bit, basically. You know, I get the general idea. I don't need it to be graphic detail. So, and Throne of Glass definitely isn't that. Anyway, I have been doing this as a bit of a read along with my friend Alison, the Stitching Whippet. Although Alison is just about to finish the series and I am by no way near finished it. So I read book 1 and 2, and then I flipped to reading Assassin's Blade, which is a prequel to the Throne of Glass series, but in actual fact is better to read once you've started reading the series, because if you read it as the prequel that it is, you won't know who the characters are, whereas if you read it once you've read a couple of the books, you'll be more inclined to know what's going on, really. So I actually bought Assassin's Blade a couple of years ago and did start to read it and thought, oh God, I don't like this. This is rubbish. Don't know what I'm reading here. Whereas now I've gone back and read it, you know, in the context of reading it as part of this series, it makes sense, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I finished Assassin's Blade, and Assassin's Blade is a little series of novellas which leads you into the background of the heroine of the Throne of Glass books, basically. So I finished that, and I am now reading the 3rd book in the series, which is called Heir. And I'm probably about 20% into that at the moment. Really, really enjoying it. So I really love this series. There's 8 books, I think, in the series. I have a way to go, and like I say, Alison's just about to finish it. So, yeah, really like that. The other book that I've read, and part of the reason why I've kind of fallen a little bit behind with reading the Throne of Glass series, is I've just finished a book, and this one was a physical book that I was reading, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. So this is the debut novel by Sally Smith. She's written other books before, but they've been more non-fiction. This was her first foray into writing a fiction novel. So she is an eminent barrister. And this book is set in the Inns of Court in London, and it is a kind of a cosy crime novel. It is a cosy crime novel. It's a bit of Rumpole of the Bailey meets Agatha Christie is best way of describing it, really. So the detective is a Casey, a King's Counsel called Gabriel, who's kind of happened upon becoming a detective by chance. So he's a barrister by trade. He's a little bit eccentric, and he kind of gets tasked with solving a murder. The book is called The Case of Mice and Murder, and I loved it. If you're an Agatha Christie fan, you would like this book. It's set in 1901. It's just, yeah, it's a really good novel. I've given it 4.5 out of 5 rather than a full out 5, only because I did guess who had done it before the end, but it was still a really good read. I didn't guess who had done it until sort of maybe a few chapters before the end, but I did. And it isn't just a murder. There's another like story that runs alongside it, but the whole lot links together. It's very clever, very. I know that she has now got another novel in the same series, so Gabriel, the story of Gabriel kind of continues. I can't remember what his surname is in the book at the moment, but so again it's another one that's set in the courts of London, etc. It's called The Case of Lion Limb, I think. I haven't read it yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list to read, but I need to get a bit further along with Throne of Glass at the moment. So yeah, if you like Agatha Christie style books and you like sort of historical type whodunits, then this is a really good book for you. So yeah, look out for The Case of Mice and Murder. By Sally Smith. I'll put that in the notes below. So that's my 2 books that I've read for this month. Life update. So just very quickly, because I'm very conscious now of I've taken up a lot of your time, and I've been trying to keep my videos to an hour, but this one I know has run over. So life update, what have I been doing? So I bought some new chickens. Yep. So Howard has increased his posse of ladies. So I bought 4 new chickens. If it's not raining, I'll try and video them at the end of this video so you get to see what they look like. But if not, I'll show you them on the next video. So he's got 4 new ladies as part of his little posse. I lost 2 of my oldest chickens this year. They were 2 chickens that kind of I inherited when we bought the house, and I have no idea how old they were, but I think neither of them laid eggs anymore, so I think they were quite old. So I've replaced them with 4 new ones. So I've now got 9 hens and Howard. Howard has taken a particular fancy to one of the new ones. So when my grandchildren came to stay, I took them over to the place where I get my chickens from, and they picked out these 4 that they liked. And we have named them after Hollywood great movie stars. So I've got one that's called Marilyn, after Marilyn Monroe. I've got a Judy Garland. I've got a Betty Grable. And I've got a Jar Jar Gabor. So, yeah. So they're my 4 new ladies that have been added to the flock. It took them a little while to integrate with the others. I did the usual thing of sneaking them in at night, and they do all wake up fairly amicable in the morning. But yeah, they were a bit very wary actually to start with, the new ones, but they are gradually getting better now. So that's chickens. Bees. I have been doing quite a lot with the bees. So my husband has 2 beehives at the moment. They are not on my land. They live down the road on a nice big piece of field, basically. And we've had a lot of honey this year. We have had a lot of honey. It's been a really good year for honey. It may not have been a good year for farmers and crops, but honey, yeah, it's been amazing. So my job within all of this, my husband and I have extracted the honey, which was an experience in itself, and a story for another time, I feel, rather than this time. And then my job has been to kind of bottle all the honey up. So I bottled it. I have been selling some of it, not just giving it. I have given a little bit away to family, but I've been selling some because it's quite expensive to set up keeping bees in the first place. And basically, I want to use the money to invest in buying a couple more hives for next year so that we can have 4 hives, hopefully. The honey has been absolutely delicious. It's really floral, so you can tell the bees have been, you know, around quite a lot of floral. It's very light. It's the first time I've had honey that hasn't come from a shop, and the difference is incredible, actually. Absolutely incredible. Everybody who's had it off of us has said how lovely it is. So yeah, so a few ladies have pre-ordered some jars of honey from me when I go to the Essex Needles retreat, so I'm going to take some jars to them that they've asked me for. I'm not taking it as a shop or anything like that because I don't really want to do that, if I'm honest. So I'm only taking what people have asked me for. And then Charlotte, who runs the Chatelaine retreat, who has a floss tube, she's stitching with the kids around. She has very kindly said to me, if I want to, I can offer to take some to her retreat as well, which is the Chatelaine retreat. So I might do that. So that's where I am with honey. I have progressed from the honey to now dealing with beeswax. So we've now got quite a lot of beeswax. That's a little bit more complicated, believe it or not, to deal with, because you have to render it down to get all the impurities out of it, and it is a bit of a faff, but it is going to be worth it in the end. You have to be really careful with it as well, because obviously it's beeswax and it's flammable. So I'm hoping to make some thread conditioners with the beeswax, because it is very good for running your thread through, and maybe some candles or something like that, depending on how much wax I get. I've got a pile that I've just taken all the impurities out of at the minute, and I'm going to make that into some thread conditioners, and then yeah, if there's enough left over, and I think there will be, I'll make a few candles or something like that as well. So that's what I've been doing, as well as being a little bit of a tourist myself. So my family came to stay, and I took them out and about took the children down the beach a couple of times at Rossniger, which is a very popular beach here. But a safe beach for swimming. Some of the tidal current around Anglesey is quite strong, so you have to be aware of when you're, taking the kids swimming. Took my son and daughter-in-law and the family to Snowdonia, or Ariri, to give it its Welsh name. Not to climb Mount Snowdon, but to just have a look around. We went to the mountains and we went to the lakes, and it was really beautiful. It really was. I'll put a few pictures at the end of this video, which is really long enough, but still, never mind, just so you can see some of the beautiful mountain views, etc., because it is stunning if you've not been to this part of the world. So yeah, garden, been busy obviously, with the final kind of harvesting for this year. So I've had raspberries, I've had strawberries, I've had tons of tomatoes, cucumbers, spring onions, lettuce. I've now just picked pears, plums and apples. So yeah, I didn't grow so much in my veg beds this year because I decided to give them a year a rest. So all I've had in the veg beds has been courgettes, peas and raspberry canes I've got there as well. And I've had an abundance of raspberries too this year. So I am kind of winding the garden down now, ready for the winter. So it should hopefully give me a little bit more stitching time. Right, I think you have had me for long enough. I'm not going to apologise for this video being an hour and a half long because I know some people actually like that. And actually, you know, you can switch off at any point you like, can't you, once you're fed up with me? So not a problem there. Hopefully if you liked what you've seen and you've not subscribed to my channel, you would consider doing that. That would be great. But if not, also fine. I have watched a bit of YouTube while I've been stitching. I have watched, I do watch Stuart in Stitches pretty much every week. I always watch Stitches Sally and Flossie Sews and Grows. I watched Crafting Kirsty's latest video. I've watched the first part of Talking Dog Stitchers Whip Parade, which was mammoth but brilliant. Thank you, Rachel, for keeping me entertained for quite a long time. Who else have I watched? I think that may be it at the moment. I've got quite a lot of videos to catch up on actually from different people. So I need to fit that in as well. Right, I really am going. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Don't forget to enter my giveaway if there was anything there that appeals to you, and I'll see you in 3 weeks hopefully. So have a great stitchy few weeks, guys. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.